If I can just ask you a few questions, we'll just get straight to it.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
So how did you find us?
I had been researching jiu-jitsu for a couple of years on the internet, and Marcus had popped up in some of my searches. I lived 2 blocks away, and I came around the corner and saw his club was there, and it was a bit of an epiphany, and that's when I decided to join.
Okay. This is when we were in Kitsilano?
No, this is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
On Richard Street.
And what was your main interest to start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Like, why did you pick and do research on that?
In the research that I did, it showed the lowest injury rate of martial arts. The idea of doing something that was so foreign to me, and when I say that, I mean I took karate and I was used to standing away from people, but this is so completely different because you're in close contact. And I wanted to challenge myself because I didn't really like that very much. So that was another part of the reason, and physical fitness, of course, and to learn. So I've found over the years that I don't like to just do physical activity for the sake of activity.
Right.
I like to lose myself in the activity.
Right. Kind of forget that you're actually exercising.
Yeah, and also learning something that's valuable.
Right. Okay. And what would you say some of the main benefits and changes that you've seen in your life that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has brought to you?
The benefits, I've lost weight. I'm stronger in many different areas. Marcus mentioned this almost on the first day, that you'll use muscles that you didn't even know you had, and it's true. So there's that. The people that I've met, I shouldn't say I'm surprised, but the level of education of the folks, there's some very intelligent people that take jiu-jitsu. So it's that was an added benefit that I hadn't realized prior to.
Okay. And when you came to jiu-jitsu, or like, would you say you have an interest to compete, or do you train more for self-defense and fitness, or the social aspects? What has that changed, or?
I would say it's changed. I thought at the start I would probably want to compete. At this point, I probably don't, but I'm not closing the door on that. It's more concentrating on learning the basics, getting my body in better shape, so that if I decide to take that next level, that I'll be capable physically of doing that, and mentally too.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the rest of the question?
Like if you're just doing it like for recreation, fun, the social aspect.
Recreation, fun, challenge. Learn how to defend myself in these types of situations. The social aspect, I didn't realize how sociable Marcus was, and the events that he puts on, and that's been another added benefit that I wholly embrace and really like. So yeah, there's been realizations that have come prior to me joining, or subsequent to me joining, that have been fun and interesting.
Awesome. Like it's like a community, right?
It is. It's a great community. People are very welcoming.
Okay. And I think like I've been around Marcus for about 10 years now, and I kind of see that he conducts his team not only just as a team, but he sees it as a family. He likes to see friendships develop. How do you feel like with this new community as part of your life?
It's been a very positive event in my life. Just it's funny, when the first time that I showed up here, and Marcus, it was an introductory course, and Marcus just took me aside and showed me some things. But also, Latea was another one when I first started, and she just walked up to me, introduced herself, and then said, let me show you some things to do. And that's kind of the way it's been with just about everybody. They've been very welcoming and open and helpful. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I always say. It's not just the coach that sells you to the team. It's also the teammates and how they make you feel welcome. Right?
Yeah, and I believe it comes from the top, for sure. I think Marcus sets the agenda just by his presence. Yeah.
And do you mind sharing us your age, Peter?
I'll be 64 in 2 months.
What? Oh my God. Well, you're doing amazing. So on that note, like when you've been with us for what, almost 2 years now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did age ever come across as a factor to you? Like, were you nervous to get started? Did you think that would hold you back, or what made you pick up the phone and not care about that?
Well, I did care about it, and it was an issue, and I did a lot of thinking about that. But yeah, it's a tough one. Just coming here, and I guess I sort of told myself, go and try it, see how it works, see how you feel about it, and then make your plans accordingly. And then so I didn't feel that I couldn't do it once I started participating. And I'm still not very good, but by the same token, I don't think that I'm holding anybody back or anything like that either. So so everybody's been very welcoming and helpful.
So age doesn't have to be a factor if you don't let it.
No, I think it's a mental mindset more than a physical mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I don't know if you can remember, but I think we touched on this a little bit already, but how you felt your first day when you came, like
Intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know the terminologies. I didn't know the decorum. Mm-hmm. None of that. So we exchanged emails, and you were really helpful. You sort of told me, and the thing that I remember is you sent a subsequent email and said, wear this, wear that, sort of, with this, and that kind of stuff, which helped a lot. And then I showed up here, and Marcus, no hard sell. He just took me aside, showed me some things. It's funny, I asked him, so what should I call you? And he said, Marcus. I was expecting a more formalized, regimented, because I had taken karate before, and it's far more regimented. And I was pleasantly surprised that while Marcus is extremely talented and competent in what he does, his ego doesn't seem to be part of that.
That's funny you say that. I remember when I took my first class, I said the same thing, like, what do you want me to call you? Because at other schools, they're very, you call them professor. Marcus is really a master, so, we could address him as Master Marcus, but he's like, just call me Marcus,
Yeah, and having seen his lineage on the internet, this is somebody that's, one of the top jiu-jitsu practitioners and teachers in the world. And for him to sort of be so lackadaisical about that, I thought, okay, that's pretty cool.
I think if we can get him to talk about his story again sometime, I think he said Carlson Gracie was kind of the same way.
Was
so
he? Okay.
I think he kind of adapted that from him. Okay, so of the 3 locations that we have, Langley, Maple Ridge, and Vancouver, which one is your primary location?
Vancouver, I live downtown, so it's really convenient for me. I previously was 2 blocks away, now I'm about 10, but it's still, it's my go-to location.
So now you have a little cool down on your way home when
I
you
do,
walk home.
Yeah.
And then have you visited any of the other schools, and how do you feel?
I haven't been to Maple Ridge, but I've been to Langley a few times, and it's a great dojo actually. It's big, same thing, people very welcoming. They're bigger. But yeah, same, and that's a testament to Marcus. It's the same attitude, people are very helpful. Last time I was there, a brown belt sort of took me over and said, come on, let's go. I was thrilled,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the way it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then we talked about this, so you already touched on why you picked BJJ over the other martial arts. And then what would you say is your compelling reason why you continue to train? Or
I haven't learned anything. I've got a lot to learn. So here I am, I'm a white belt, and I'm training with lots of blue belts, and just the ease that they can manipulate me around, it drives me crazy. So I want to learn, and I just see it as something that why can't I continue doing it? It's a remarkably good workout, and probably one of the best. I play hockey, and this is equal to, if not better, as far as the time in and how much energy you burn. So
awesome. And it's not on the questions, but I just thought of this. Your support system at home, how do they feel about you? Do they think you're crazy? Do they love seeing you happy? Or
yeah, no, it's funny. My wife, she's seen me do lots of crazy things before, so she just kind of shrugged her shoulders, and she knows she's happy, and she's the one that told me, oh, when you come home, you're always smiling.
Aww.
Right? So yeah, so that was good. And that was right off the bat. My 92-year-old mother was out visiting from Nova Scotia, and she thought it was great too. So, yeah,
So added benefits there. Okay.
yeah.
And then your primary class that I see you at the most seems to be the noon class. Why did you pick the noon classes over the evenings, and how does that kind of impact the rest of your day? Or, you know?
The noon class, because I'm retired, and for me, I'm really trying to fit my fitness activities into the daytime, if at all possible, and I've been pretty successful at that. So that frees up the evenings. So for my wife and stuff, she has me cooking dinner and everything. Sorry, what was the second half of the question?
And do you feel like how does it impact the rest of your day? Like,
Oh, well, it's certainly an endorphin high for a couple of hours, and yeah, just relaxed and chill. My intention is, and I'm not sure when this will happen, but I would like to start coming to the evening classes too, like graduating in maybe one evening a week and then maybe two. I just want to get be confident about my conditioning first, right? Because I tend to get sore pretty easy. That's one of the downsides of getting older. You seize up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be wise about how many times you can train and know what your body can handle.
Yeah.
Okay. And then last question, how do you feel about having classes with, as we were saying, Marcus is a master with over like 50 years of experience. I think he has like 52 years of experience training jiu-jitsu now and teaching.
I feel confident that the person that's instructing me knows what they're talking about, what they're doing. I also know that he could probably take a look at just about any stranger that walks in and in 10 seconds know what level they're at. I like the fact that he has high standards and doesn't compromise on those standards. I think that's really important. He doesn't impose a lot. I mean this in a way, if we're all rolling, you know, he may, there'll be 10 or 15 of us out there rolling, and he'll give me one pointer, right? He's not going to flood me with a bunch of information because he probably knows that I can't take it anyway. So that's the value of having somebody that knows how to teach and knows the subject matter, and he's good, very excellent at both.
Awesome. And I lied. One last question. What would you say to the brand new person that's thinking of starting jiu-jitsu, whether they're older, younger, maybe they're a little nervous? What would be your word of wisdom?
I would just say try it with an open mind, and you'll find a welcoming group of people that are more than willing to help you in your journey. And that's the thing. There's non-judgmental, very helpful. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Peter.
You're welcome. Thanks for interviewing me.
No problem.